Welcome to the Help Myself podcast. I am your host, John M. Singletary Sr. I got to put that senior in there because I got a junior. And guess what, party people? He's in school, so it's going to be quiet in here. But we needed to be quiet today because we got some conversations that need to be had. Listen, I say it all the time that I'm excited because when I have an opportunity to bring somebody on the show, it's somebody that I admire. It's somebody who I'm inspired by, who has a story that I really want to share with all of you. So I'm super excited, as I always say, about this one. This is one of my partners from way back in the day. I mean, Gates Elementary back in the day. So I'm excited about this episode. And you know what we do here, the most dangerous podcast in the land, because we're taking the power and putting it back where it belongs. And that's in the hands of the people, and the people are you. So our special guest today is none other than Walter Perry Sr. He is the CEO of Suit Up World. He's a community and political activist, and he's a young man with an amazing journey. I'm kind of upset because me and him are the same age, but he looks so much younger than me. He was teasing me about all the gray on my chin. So, I'm going to let that slide. I'll cry after the show. I'm not going to cry during the show. But obviously, I'm going to ask y'all to do what you do. Go to the YouTube channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live because we got great content coming. But without further ado, bringing to the stage my friend, my brother in the struggle, and my brother in the successes, Walter E. Perry Sr., CEO of Suit Up World.
How you doing, my brother? How you doing? Good morning.
What's going on, man? It's good to see you, man. Good to see you looking all young and refreshed.
Nah, it's just early in the morning. I'm very happy to be here. First of all, congratulations on 100 episodes.
Thank you, sir.
Bro, I don't see how you got the time to do it. It's a lot going on. I know you got your son.
Yeah.
So it's a tremendous honor and privilege to be on your show, and I'm glad you got me on here.
Oh, man, I was glad, I didn't even know you was aware of the show, man. So I was really, really proud that you were checking me out, man, because, we all been checking you out, and you are definitely so I want to give you an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself. I gave a short intro, but, I'm going to give you a chance. This brother just got married recently. Congratulations, just seeing all the pictures, man, and seeing the happiness and joy. And us as Black men, we deserve joy. We deserve peace. We deserve love, man. So I love seeing it, man. So go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit. Then I'll tell a little bit about how far we go back.
For those who don't know me, my name is Walter Perry. I run the Suit Up program. Started the program about 10 years ago. We started on the east side of San Antonio, helping the young kids find clothes and suits for work and school. We also mentored. We developed a curriculum that was specifically tailored towards the kids on the east side. Over time, we've grown. We worked with the juvenile probation. We worked with Judson ISD. We worked with numerous counties, and we've suited up, I say, over the last 10 years, maybe about 5,000 kids. It should have been a lot more, but, resources were not there at times. But we were greatly blessed to be able to be around the young people and to influence them. And so the Suit Up program is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to our community. And we made a bigger commitment by becoming Suit Up the World. We are going to, we've expanded not only our services, but our location. We have a location down near Padre Island now so that the young kids can come down if they want to fish. Yeah. If you want to come down and fish, adults, parents, get in contact with me, and we will make that happen soon. So I'll get that detail out later. But we also want to expand beyond the borders of the U.S., and so we'll get into that later. So when I say suit up the world, I really mean it. So
Suit up the world.
right.
I'm talking about. Y'all see it down in the ticker. That's his Facebook, his Instagram, and the website, man. So make sure y'all go follow, check them out, check out the website, and get connected. Because none of us are island. We can't do this on our own. So donations of all kinds are gladly accepted. You know, we want to make sure that we come together so we can suit up the world. I'm excited about that. Now, all of the professional and good stuff, man. So me and my brother go back second grade, man. Gates Elementary, man, and it was what was our little cruise? Me, you, Terry Battle, Ronnie Caesar, Dietrich Williams, yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Fat Daddy.
Fat Daddy, yeah, man.
Buck.
Buck.
Well, second grade, I didn't meet Buck until fifth grade.
Yeah, Buck didn't come over to Gates till fifth grade.
Yeah, he was at Cameron. He was
yeah, he came over and stole all the girls. We was all mad.
Couldn't read though, so didn't matter. I had to read for him. I had to read all the love letters. Had to write the love letters for him. So
Buck, we love you, bro. We love you, man. Say, man. Okay, so we go way back, man. But this brother in high school, I was dating a young lady named Tristar, and she used to get her hair done up, man. And I had buck teeth. I hadn't got my braces yet.
Oh my!
This brother called us Beaver and Weaver.
How do y'all remember this stuff?
So I never forgot that, man. I wanted to be mad, but it was so funny.
Somebody else told me, I gave them a name that stuck with them. I was like, man, I don't know how y'all remember this stuff. I was saying whatever back then.
Yeah, you were just coming off the top of the head. But I will say, so I think it was about maybe 12, 13 years ago. I saw you were working with a moving company, I believe. And I saw you on Randolph Air Force Base. And it had been years since we had seen each other.
Yeah.
And I remember how excited we both were. We didn't have a lot of time to chop it up, man.
Right.
And from that point on, man, and we're going to get into your whole story. But from that point on, man, I mean, I know it's been tough, but watching your rise has been meteoric, man. You got the hustle going, man. I'm proud to know you, man. I'm proud that we come from these same streets and we growing up and doing grown man stuff and not all the foolishness, man. Because Lord knows we were involved and surrounded by plenty of it.
Let me tell you, man. First of all, I just want to say, man, I'm proud of what you're doing. From the time we met in elementary school to the time I saw you on Randolph. And man, I was a hard-working man then. You saw I was doing the moving thing. You know, moving is not easy, especially moving military folks.
Yeah.
So y'all the most difficult people. Y'all the most difficult customers I ran into.
Yeah, because y'all do everything for us. We be spoiled.
No, y'all not even paying for it, but y'all act like y'all paying for it. I'm like,
I ain't paying for it, but we don't want you to scratch nothing. We want everything.
Right. You trying to make insurance claims on damages. Come on, it's military people.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, when I saw you, you know, I was proud because at that time, only thing I knew was a lot of my friends would get killed or going to prison. So to run into somebody who I not only grew up with, but we went through the levels of grade school and high school to see you actually doing something and actually got rank up in there, bro. That's inspiring. That was the same thing when I saw Jerry when he was in the Navy when he came.
Yeah, man.
It's a few people that I've ran into from our generation that I'm very proud of. And even though we may not talk on a daily basis, you know, I follow you guys from time to time, and you know, I'm very aware of not all, but I'm pretty aware of a lot of my friends that I've grown up with. I pretty much know kind of what y'all doing.
Yeah, man. So it's a gift and a curse with the social media. Like we get to stay in touch, but I think we kind of forget that it's been a long time and we don't really connect like we should. But
Right.
it's a gift and a curse. It's on me to do better. I've been seeing people's kids, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's my little niece and my little nephew, and realize I ain't never met the child in person.
I don't really I don't really hold that much regard as far as people keeping in touch, even on social media, because what I found out these last couple of years, everybody's lives are not as easy as you think they are.
Man, come on.
Social media, you already know. It shows you one thing, but reality shows you something else. And I had to learn that. I spent so much time on social media that my reality was falling apart.
Yep.
And so once I got off social media and went back to my reality, then I started putting things into perspective. And then you started saying like, wait, hold on, this been going on? This been going on? Where have I been? You been on the damn computer.
Yeah.
Damn social media. Like this been falling apart. So I got off, and one of the best things you can do, and I'm talking to your audience, I'm talking to you, one of the best things you guys can do is get the hell off of social media and purge yourselves of that attention. Don't worry about who liking what. And I know y'all see me posting now because now I'm in a space where I can post something and it's not about me. And it's not just about my thoughts and my opinions. Like, go through my posts in the last few months. It's nothing political. It's nothing divisive. It's all about family. It's all about love now because I've learned my lesson through that social media that when you have an opinion, it shapes the world around you, especially if you have a platform like which I had on numerous occasions, and I had the opportunity to bring people together through social media, and I did. But there were often times where I let my ego and thinking that I was more powerful on social media than I was in real life. I let that get in the way of what was really at hand, and bro, it cost me a lot of stuff. And I'm a person who I'm a very introspective person, but I live in reality too. There were some things that I could have done on that campaign run that I look back on that I said, man, I should have just did this, and I know it would have turned this way, or I shouldn't have said this. But I stand on everything I said. I stand on the way that I ran. Mm-hmm. I stand on everything. You know why? Because I broke a barrier that nobody could crack. They were saying, "Oh, Walter, you got a felony. You can't even run." But when you know how to read, that Gates Elementary reading, reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental.
And when you go in and you actually read and you can decipher and discern the meaning behind the words, you go, wait a minute, hold on. And so it wasn't the fact that I wasn't good enough of a candidate to win. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of things that were against me at the beginning. Just me getting on the ballot. I had to sit on the phone with the city attorneys for 2 hours going back and forth why I'm legally able to get on the ballot when they told me I couldn't even get on. So that was because the opposition started calling in. So from that point on, I should have known already,
right?
Which I did. But when you're just jumping into something new, the best way to find out is just to go through it. And so I'm very proud of the way I ran. There were no scandals. They didn't find anything going on with no impropriety with my money. And everything was accounted for. I ran twice. And so I'm very proud of the way I ran and how I ran.
Me too.
And I stand on everything that I said.
Yeah. So that's a great segue, man. That's kind of where we wanted to get into, man. I wanted to ask you, like, how did you get into politics and community activism and suit up the world and all of these things?
Man, the politic thing started as a child when you were in the schoolyard.
Facts.
Come on, man. Whoever was the funniest, whoever brought candy and Kool-Aid, whoever was the cutest, whoever can fight the best, and whoever was the fastest. Come on, man. That was politics. All of that. So when you learn from a young age how to be popular and how to be in the popular crowd, because I've always been popular since I've been young.
Yeah.
But, and so it wasn't always like, oh yeah, Walter's bad. No, like I was popular for all the right reasons, but through experience outside of school, it shaped the way that I was living. And then you put in the gang culture, which you
Mm-hmm.
know I wasn't born into that, but I had to navigate around it, and
Yeah.
I ended up being a part of it. But the political part, even in that, in the games, it's about who wants to be the leader, who wants to be the most influential. That's politics. Then I go to prison. I deal with politics in there, dealing with who wants to be in charge. And politics is always about who wants to be in charge, who wants to run stuff. So I started thinking when I got out here, wow, the only way I'll be able to change something is if I become a part of it. So that's what led me to go, let me look at the city charter and let me just see if they got some flaws in there. So I was just randomly, just one day I said, let me get the charter. So I started reading it. Then I said, oh, wow, this happened. And then I seen a dude run from out of Austin who had
Mm-hmm.
a murder case in Texas, and he ran. Uh, Conway, his last name is Conway.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So I have a story about that too. And so when I saw him, that inspired me to go, man, let me look deeper into the charter again. And so when I looked inside our city charter, I saw the loophole. And so I said, well, man, I'm just go ahead and just put my name in there. And so at this time, John, it was 13 of us. And I sat down here with this team and I said, hey, y'all, I see everybody got concerns, but we can't change nothing. We've been to these rallies, we've been to these meetings.
Yep.
Can't do nothing. The only way to do it is if we go run for office. All of us are going to school. We're all smart. We got degrees. Why aren't we doing more of what we're doing? So it was a matter of motivating the people around me to like do stuff. And so I ended up running because the position became open. Cruz left it open.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, let me just jump in here and see what's up. So that's what kind of like led me down there. But my goal wasn't to become city councilman. I mean, if it happened, I was going to be the best city councilman ever. And to this day, I still feel like uh, I'm the best person for that job because I really can tap into what's going on with
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, they picked who they picked, and it seems like he's doing a good job. I mean, I don't really follow the politics too much anymore because I got my grandson and I got other stuff going on. I fish every day. So,
First off, man, let me tell you that the way that you weaved politics into every level of life was poetic, bro. That was amazing, man. How you took it from the schoolyard to the gang to school to jail to all of that. And what you said was so fundamental. There's so many opportunities that we're locked out of because we don't take time to get that information. And it doesn't mean that we got to be in politics, but to understand, like something as simple as going to get a permit to throw a block party is a political action, and we hire sheriffs
how's that a political action?
because you got to go to city council to do it. Oh,
No,
got
no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just have to go get a city permit. And
right.
Yeah, all you do is go down there. I think it's off of Flores.
Yeah.
And just walk down there and pay for the permit. Now, what you're trying to do may take a little bit more of a city council approach, but at the same time, that's not really hard when you have a plan. And
Oh, it's not hard. My point is that people think that politics don't affect them day to day.
It do.
It do. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
It does.
Small things that we do are so I'm just saying, like, some people be like, oh, I don't get involved with that. I'm like, well, it gets involved with you.
But some things don't require politics. Sometimes,
right. Oh, no.
Like the majority of the stuff that people say you got to go through politics to get, you honestly, you don't. All you have to do is research the information and pay your money.
And I think what we need to do is stop making politics such a hard thing. Like you said, if we're in a group somewhere together and we're talking and who wants to lead, who wants to do this part and do that part, those are political, concepts. There we go.
Right.
It ain't an action, but it's a concept. So yeah, we need to understand, man, that like you said, the social part, the community needs to have a voice, and we need to have people that represent what the community believes. Because with District 2, historically, it's been a lot of people that don't even live or attached to District 2 trying to swoop in.
Yeah, but and first let me emphasize this: social is also political as well. Like that's the other side of the politics is when it works, is when people come together and things actually happens. Now, District 2 has had its share of leadership. It has also had its share of, people coming in, taking sources and running up out of there. Everybody knows that I told them about the Promise Zone situation, and see, that's a good example of how politics are misused and damaged of a potential revitalization for a whole community, because people felt like this person deserved this person didn't have this because they looked this part. And I seen it close up, and it was very disappointing to see and experience. But in the end, like I said, until you get somebody who really cares about bringing people together, who has the wherewithal, who has the knowledge to be able to bring people together, but also, which something I had to learn, my biggest downfall, and I ain't gonna call it the downfall. I think the con was building up the temperament to be able to weather the storm of all types of like criticism and stuff like that. If you're asking for a position like this, you have to be strong in here, which on a lot of levels, I don't answer a lot of stuff. But over these last few years and the experience that I went through with a really ugly experience with my divorce, I had to learn that to block out a lot of stuff, because nothing is permanent in this world. Things are only temporary. And so no matter what people say about you, it goes back to what I told you. When you look in that mirror,
come on, man,
you gotta say, no, this is who I am. And so that's another thing that the Suit Up program, it's a program, it's a quantitative and a qualitative program. It is going to give you the foundation to not only look in the mirror and love the person that you see. It's going to force you to fix and correct the things that you were running from. And it's going to cause the things that lay dormant to awaken, and you're going to become a different person. That's why I say it's qualitative and it's quantitative.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see it and feel it.
As a matter of fact, we kind of talked about the political part. Let's dig more into Suit Up the World, man. Let's talk about that. What was the genesis? Where are we at? Where are we going?
The genesis started in prison. I hated it in there, but I lived the best experience that a prisoner can live in it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And let me explain. I got a 12-year sentence. And as soon as I got my 12-year sentence, the first person I called was my mom. I was crying on the phone. I said, they gave me some time. My mom told me, she said, first of all, stop that crying. And she said, the first thing I want you to do is when you get down there, sign up for truck driving or diesel mechanics. She said, and do this, do that, do that, and do this. So she gave me a roadmap to go through prison. So as soon as I got there, I put in the request to go to college and to truck driving school. I had looked on this big old board, and it was like all these trades. They all free, bro. It was like 100 trades on there, all free. I said, no, I want truck driving or diesel mechanics. But I kept putting in truck driving. It took me 3 years. So I ended up getting on a unit that had truck driving and college. So I started taking college classes in '96 in prison. So I got my license within about 6 months, and I was driving in there. So I was never really in there. I was in there, but I was never in there.
Yeah.
So when I was going to different units, my friends were seeing me, and they was like, boy, you better suit up. So that was a prison term in there.
Okay.
Stay ready stay ready to keep from getting ready. So that always stayed in my mind. It was an old man like, suit up, youngsters, it's time to suit up. So in there, when I was getting ready to like I knew I was getting ready to come home, I sat down one day and I wrote this plan out. I said, this is what I want to do. This is about this time. This is kind of what I want to do. If this happens, use this. So when I got out, I had a truck driver's license and I started going to college. So during that time, I had what they call adjustment issues. And what that is when you come home, man, I was going almost 8 years. So I had to like learn girls. Like wasn't really with girls when I got locked up. I was 17 years old, 18. So it was like I had to learn that. So I was making mistakes with females. So it was just really bad. And so I had to learn through my 20s. So I went from 17, 18 to 25 years old. Mm-hmm. So when I got out, I say from 25 to 29 was some rough years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it came to me at a time where I was homeless, bro. Just really homeless. And I needed some clothes to go to a job interview. And I was sitting in the bathroom and I didn't have no clothes. And I started crying. And I went to St. Philip's, and a friend of mine, he was like, well, what's going on? I said, man, I don't have no clothes. And they had wanted me to speak at the college. So he took me up to K&G, John Martin from St. Philip's. Took me up to K&G, got me a suit. And, that right there, that moment, like woke me up. And I said, suit up. So after the speech, I started collecting clothes.
Yeah.
Anybody who needed clothes, I just started giving them to them. So then when I got married to the previous person, I was just sitting there one day and I was saying like, man, I think I found my father. She was like, what? I said, I think I found my dad, but I need to go research more. I said, but I started this program. Well, she didn't really get it. So I went to Ivy Taylor. She had just started Councilwoman and all this. So I went to her. I said, hey, I started this program called Suit Up. She was like, oh my God. She was like really into it. She said, I'm going to put you somewhere. I'm going to find you a place, look up some places where you can go and you can learn how to really grow. And that's how I ended up at Sage. And so, so you asked about my political career and my social career. There were people that were pivotal in my life where, I almost gave up, but John gave me the suit. I almost left my dream alone when the person you think you with don't really see it the way you see it. I was finna walk away from that, but Ivy opened the door. It was other people who opened the door. And I have to tell you this because I'm starting to get a little bit choked up about it.
Yeah.
But my point is that I forgot about that and started, thinking things was me. And social media would do that to you, will have you thinking, oh yeah, this is me, and it's not you. Like there was so many people that's been instrumental in my life, like, up to this point. You even, Pastor Courtney Evans, God's Property, that church was pivotal during my divorce. They helped out my family a lot. He even came in, did my wedding. Shit. I owed money, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so many things have happened, bro. And, I've lost so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just on top of losing, I lost my house, going back and forth, legal battles, just lost everything, bro. And just could have really just went there and just, but Suit Up, like I told you, it's a quantitative and it's a qualitative, because the lessons that you learn, it's lesson upon lessons. At the end, you not only get a suit, but you learn the foundations of surviving. And the qualitatives, it makes you a better person. You,
Mm.
you look in the mirror, you feel good, you dress better, you smell good, you start taking interest into art. You want to get a passport. You want to go to college. You want to raise your kids. I have my kids, I have my grandson, and so they're just things that I can stand on through this program that not only brought me here, but there's still a lot more to me that I'm learning and growing into. And I know that, wow, we're only given so much time in
Only
our
giving so
life.
much time.
Yeah, God only gives us 100 years, not posted this.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna be 47 in November. So add it up. Most of that time's been spent locked up, thrown off, mentally locked up. Because even though you're not in bars, in your mind you're locked up. And a lot of us, before the pandemic but during the pandemic became caged up mentally and spiritually. And now a lot of us been released.
A lot of us are free now. Yeah.
Yeah, but hold on. What are you releasing yourself to? And see, it's like you either became the best version of yourself or the worst part of yourself. And so this post-epidemic, this post-COVID world that we're walking into, it's about atonement and redemption. You have to atone. You have to tell yourself, I'm like you have to forgive yourself. And you got to start forgiving others. Now, you don't got to talk to them no more.
Right.
Forgive them. This, man, I forgive that situation. Forgive it.
Y'all, this is the speech he was giving me before we came on recording, because I was asking him, man, I'm trying to get in that married life. I've been single for so and
I'm better when I'm married, bro.
Man, come on now.
I'm horrible when I'm single.
Come on. Hey, listen, I gotta say this, man. I've known this brother. I'm just so inspired, man. I love the fact that you're talking about your vulnerable moments and talking about man. So when we were in elementary school, Walter was one of the smartest kids in school, man. Like, it used to be competition between me and him and a couple of other people, like who was the smartest, man.
Right.
But yo, and
the most awards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, who used to win the most awards. Tasha Freeman.
You remember? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Her auntie, Miss Atkinson.
Miss Atkinson, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, man, and then that's another thing too with fatherhood. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the narrative out here, it's going to shape the way that you father. And so, I ain't no way I'm gonna come to the door like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I got some cookies in there. I'm changing oil in the bag. It ain't finna happen like that. I'm not going to be that type of father. And it's nothing against fathers that are like that. But I'm not going to be that type of father. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to come to the door with my shirt off. And, holding my grandson. Yeah, what's up? Because, hey, that's just me. And so during this time, me as a father, I have to educate myself. I have to feel comfortable around other people, whether you are a different color. And as far as people being gay and stuff like that, man, I've been around that my whole life, man. Mm-hmm. I done bust people in their mouth for talking about my mama. So that whole lifestyle and stuff like that, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. But on the flip side to that, I know enough about the lifestyle to where, I can go, hey, man, you acting like a messy punk and you need to chill. And so people be like, why you don't say that? I'm like, no, because there are some things in life that, people have to understand. If you want to be treated equally, then I'm going to talk to you equally like I talk to everybody else. And so there comes a time where we all have to be mindful and respectful. Even if I don't go that way, you have to be respectful and mindful of my space as a heterosexual father to not be talking like that around me as far as like downing heterosexuals. Or when I come in, hey, beefcake, and then nobody don't say nothing to you. And then when I do say something to you, everybody thinks that I'm the bad guy. And so as a father and as a man, you have to like stay focused on that. Stand your ground, be firm, but then at the same time, you check people and you move on. And you don't hold that against nobody. And then every time you see somebody gay, you know what, man, the last guy said that to me, so I'm gonna treat him back. No, I treat everybody accordingly. And so you get out of line with me, just like if you black, you white, you Mexican, I don't care. You get out of line with me, I'm gonna check you. And the same as if I get out of line with you, you check me accordingly. And that's how it goes.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, man.
But guess what though? I want to talk about the flea circus syndrome. And this is
Flea circus syndrome. Come on, school us, bro.
okay, so for those who don't know how a flea circus is formed, guy he has fleas in his jar, and the fleas are jumping up and down. They jump for a time until they get tired. Once they get tired, he takes the jar off, and then he builds the circus the way that he wants to, and that's how he gets the fleas to like jump around the circus. Well, the whole idea of this story is that the even though the lid is off and there's all this space around here, the fleas never leave that circus, and they attribute that to people from the neighborhood, which I think are gangs and people who are closed minded. They never leave that vicinity, and I was like that too until recently when I went out of the country for the first time. I had a flea circus mentality where all I thought was beyond these borders, and I was like, well, man, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna just go to Houston. They ain't nowhere, you know what I'm saying? And so, a lot of people get trapped in that, and they end up dying, never really doing anything in life. And again, it goes back to this: you only get 100 years. I didn't want to be the type of guy who was known for going to prison, running for office and losing, or something always happening. Those are just chapters in my life. The
Just
book is still being written, and so the flea circus mentality, which I call San Antonio itis, is when you so trapped in that city, you that's all you think, that's all you know, and it's like you never want to go anywhere. And then if you do, you go to another city, and all you do is sit inside the hotel room. You don't do anything. You have a trapped up mentality, and I think uh, in this day and age, especially with the epidemic that happened in the last 2 years, I think that it's been heightened, and a lot of people are afraid to step out of their comfort zones. They're afraid to go out. Now you got some people who formed businesses and done incredible things, but you have a big group of people who are afraid to move forward in life, and it starts with their thoughts and it starts with their emotions. They don't want to move forward, and that's what I mean by the flea circus syndrome, is that something's been built inside of them, and they can only move according to what's being built. And even though all this space, like in San Antonio, it's dangerous, people are getting killed there. Why don't you move? You have the money to move, but you feel like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, which that's what you need to do, but you don't do it. And so I think that mentality there keeps a lot of people trapped. You know what, bro? You asked me who's my biggest inspiration. I'm gonna just say my grandfather,
Okay.
and the reason I say that is because of the same reason why I have my grandson. Uh, you know, there were some situations where things could have went really bad, and this man stepped in, and I wasn't always, there for him, and I was the best kid, but he taught me enough to where now the lessons that I've learned from him, I'm applying to my grandson, and truly, truly, truly phenomenal of the way that things things work when you actually listen and put them to practice. So my grandfather's my biggest inspiration, bro.
Man, let me say something here, and then I want to give you an opportunity to kind of let us know what's going to be going on in the future and give us some closing words before we get out of here. But let me say this, man. When you were talking about like don't want to be known as somebody that went to jail, and for y'all that don't know, man, Walter was big time gangster in the city, man. Like,
Oh,
you wasn't even fooling with him back in the 90s. He was big time, man.
oh,
And but those things aren't, you know, they're not negatives, man. They're truly inspiring to know that you as a young man, went to prison. My mom went to prison, man. So I know how that goes. And
A lot of our moms did.
Yeah, and you came back, man, and you navigated that. It wasn't just like if people read the story wrong, they think you came home and then everything was sweet. But you was like, no, man, it was a whole another 4-5 years where it was still a struggle. Then I came up.
Almost got killed out here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of the stories being homeless, but I'm proud of the fact that you fought enough. Even when you didn't love yourself the way you were supposed to be loving yourself, you still fought for the version of yourself that is evolving now, man. I'm proud of that young man back in the day that believed. I'm proud of that young man that went through all of that you went through. I'm proud of that young man that believed. And this young man that he'll be 47 later this year. I'll be 47, and he was messing with me because I'm gray and he not, but that's okay. I'm gonna let
When's your birthday?
December
December what?
17th.
Oh boy, he's Sagittarius like me. I'm
Yeah.
November 25th.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Already.
For sure,
Yeah.
man. Where we come from, man, like, you know, we talked about Fat Daddy. We lost him back in the 95?
95. I was in prison when I got was it the register or the snap? It was one of them. I got it, and I seen them on there, man. I broke down crying.
Broke down crying, man.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Cameo. We was at, and he had went down to Southwest Texas. So I didn't go with all Terrence and Nelson and all that. I didn't go that first year. I, stayed home and got into trouble and all that. But I went back the second year. We saw him, and he was talking about, I was like, yo, man, you got to come back so we can get the crew back together, man, And he was like, yo, I got my financial aid. I'm working on it. My mom got it at the house, and I'm going to get back. And then he got killed 2 days later after that, man. Yeah.
Man, I was so sad because
Dude, I cried, man.
He and a few people, that guy right there was one of my biggest fans as far as like any joke, any joke that I brought to him, like he pretty much laughed. Like he was one of my biggest critics. Like if something wasn't funny, like that's not funny. But he along with you, Sean Wright, Buck, he was my biggest fan as far as like Walks is the funniest. Like and like he wrote me a few times when I was in prison. And he was one of my first friends who knew how to drive in elementary.
Yes. So, he was driving that Delta 88 in elementary.
He drove his daddy 18-wheeler. Bro, he told this story about how his daddy either got tired or got drunk and he had to drive his daddy's 18-wheeler all the way to the house. He says dad taught him how to drive it right there. Like I never forgot the story. And then I asked his mama about it and she confirmed it. And so then I saw him driving at 11 and 12. I was like,
yeah,
yep, he did that. And so I looked up to him because in that regard, because one, he was doing stuff early, but he was humble about having his car. He gave you a ride, and he'll tell you can't ride if he didn't like you. But he was a very good friend. He gave you money. He never
was that guy, man. He was that guy, and it wasn't fake with him. He was
he wasn't
that dude.
Fake. He wasn't fake at all. And so to see him and my friend Dino, like a few people. I met so many people, man. And that's the thing about San Antonio, and that's why I had to like get up out of there, man, because like I love the city. Like I ain't gonna never leave as far as like my heart. I got nothing but love for the East Side. But they on demon time right now. And until the community addresses the real problem, which is the gangs, and people can talk about white folks, you can talk about the government, crippling black people, you can talk about it, but gangs in San Antonio have had the biggest impact on killing black folks because they ain't stopping. When families killing families, you didn't shot my mama, you didn't shot my cousin. I'm not forgiving that. Then on top of that, it's so much murder down there and nobody is speaking up. Like killers is walking around free. Nobody's saying nothing. People shaking hands with killers. And that city is just, it needs to purge itself. And until somebody stands up, and it can't just be me, because I stood up and wrote a petition to shut down the Hill. And then that got met with backlash. And it was only by the grace of God, nobody tried to take my life out there. But I spoke on issues, and I'm going to continue to speak on issues. I was in gangs. I renounced gangs when I got in prison. I was not running with gangs in there. When I came out, I was not running with gangs. I do not associate with gang activity. That people who are my friends that I grew up with who are still gang members, I still talk to them. Like, I still be cordial, but I don't hang with them. And they respect that. And I feel like if you my age and you still have a gang mentality, something is terribly wrong with you mentally and emotionally, that you got to look in the mirror and purge that. You got to get that out your spirit, because it's a very destructive and a very devastating thing to have in your life. And it's a cancer that needs to be removed out of our community.
Yeah.
And so we can talk about community activism. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. But until the community stands up and really take control of what's going on in the community and start turning in these gang members for these murders and start giving closure to these families, nothing's going to change. And so community effort,
takes community effort,
working with the police to stop this. You understand what I'm saying? So people don't want to work with the laws, but you want to call them when you get shot. So that ain't going to work like that. So that's why until you renounce that and you purge that, you're never going to get it out the community. And so I don't want to get killed because somebody don't like what I'm saying. And so I would rather relocate and, help the city from afar and go in and out. I still have the Suit Up program there in San Antonio, so I'm always in San Antonio doing my program. But, through the Ready to Work initiative is something that we work with. We partner with San Antonio. That's what's coming up. We've been in operation as far as that program since May. They started it, but we need people to sign up and be a part of the Ready to Work initiative, because they are paying $15 an hour for training in whatever field you want. Whether you want to go get a degree, whether you want to go get a certification. The Suit Up program right now, we give personal development and management development certifications, and what that is, personal development is, again, it's atonement. And it's also renewing you, putting you in a position to where you're more focused, you're more positive, and you're more proud when you're getting up going to work. And I know they got this great resignation, but I don't think it's of God when you don't work. I think it's godly when you get up every day and you work, when you till the soil, when you get out and you earn, and you get out and you provide. If you're just sitting around with your hands out, waiting on something, no, that's not of God. I think that's of sin. And God wants you to get up every day and be proud of the work that you're doing. So we want you to be ready to work. We want to get you ready to work. So your mindset and your spirit has to be ready to work. And so if anybody wants to reach out to me to be a part of the Suit Up program, the sessions based on character, but also on everyday life, like social media. We talk about current events, and it's very organic. We don't judge you. We allow you to speak, and we allow you to heal through the program. And we also give you tips, and we give you tools on what you can do. And you can go to my website, www.suituptheworld.com. That's www.suituptheworld.com. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at wperry@suituptheworld.com. You can call me on my phone number, 210-620-1566. And you guys, reach out to me. We're putting together a trip for families, a fishing trip. I'm down here. I'm down here in the coastal area, Rockport, Port Aransas. Very beautiful waters, good fishing, very family atmosphere. I want you guys to reach out to me if you're interested in being a part of that. I'm going to be announcing that later on, probably the next few weeks, once we get the details with the hotels. So that way we can start bringing families together, because what I've discovered is I've ran into men who don't even know how to fish, who've never been fishing before. I was one of those guys. And so now I fish every day. I try to fish almost every day.
Humble flex. No, I'm just playing.
So yeah, but see, here's something else. When you think you lost it all, like the story of Job, Job had a woman who was in his ear telling him, "Well, if God really loves you, why did He let you go through that?" Yeah. But if you stay focused, everything was taken away from me. I'm telling you, I lost all my money, lost the house, lost my vehicle, nothing at all. Cried out to God, cried, literally cried. I have a recording of it. And I listened to it from time to time to keep me humble, but cried out. And then I just let go. Next thing I know, things started working out. Then the right woman came into my life. And then all of a sudden, things just started falling into place. And then boom, boom, boom. And so you asked me earlier, how do you find the right woman? The right woman is going to come right to you when you get yourself right. A lot of these men don't want to cry. Bro, cry. Get it out. Now, don't be no whining dude, but cry, bro. Get it out. Think about everything that's hurting you and just cry. And I promise you, God is going to hear that. And then start working towards what you want. And that's what I had to do, bro. I kept thinking it was me. Oh, man, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And I couldn't. Kept sinking in this quicksand. And then I just held on my hand. I said, God, I'm sinking. I'm going under. I need you. And there you go. He pulled me out. I said, see, I told you. He pulled me right out of there. And so when you look at scripture and you see the different stories, bro, and you apply that to your life, you go, well, there's Job, and then there's Lazarus. Oh, there's John the Baptist. There's Paul. You look at that and you say, well, I'm going through that, but it's just like different. What did they do? And so when you start seeing what they did and you see the results of the story, the world is cyclic. Time is cyclic. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go on a cycle. So okay, let me apply this what Paul said, well, or did. Let me do this and then let me see if it works. Not only do it work, bro, it overworks. It start being abundant. So if I can give you one word of encouragement for the people, it will be to hold fast to your scriptures. Do not deny the scriptures because it's power in those stories, especially with men, because a lot of those prophets are men in there, and men are looking for answers, and we go searching through other men when really all we got to do is open up the book. And then you open up the book and you see the stories, your answers are always in there. And so what book would I recommend? Whatever your spiritual foundation is, open it up and just look at that. But from a worldly standpoint, bro, I think everybody should be reading the Master Key System by Charles Haanel. Yeah, the Master Key System by Charles Haanel. It's that talking things into existence. Not only talking it into existence, you're doing it, and then you living it and stuff like that. So anytime you have a difficulty, and that's why I knew when I lost everything.
Let me add that to my list.
Right, God wants you to let things go so you can hold on to something else. So I was holding on to all this other stuff. He's like, Walter, I'm trying to give you this, but you got that. So you want to keep that? I was like, no, let it go. So I let it go. It hurt. At times I have like jitters, like, oh, I lost all this money. But God comes in and says, no, look what I gave you. And I have to look around this wonderful place, knowing that I'm just 2 miles from the beach. Yeah. And, I have to remember that. I have to stay in remembrance that I'm still alive and I'm still able to change it. And that's what the Suit Up program has done. It's evolved. It's become more of a ministry, because that's what my life is. It's always been a ministry. And, I really, really appreciate the examples that's been set for me, because I wouldn't be here if people didn't take the time to go, Walter, you doing that wrong? Or, hey, bro, here's an extra, here's some extra fries, man, so you ain't gotta, rob the McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So John, I just want to thank you for, you call it the Help Myself podcast. This is not only help myself. I hope that our discussion today has helped somebody else, and
Oh, I guarantee it has. I
I'm just
guarantee it has.
I'm just really humbled to be a part of this, and anything that I can do to help somebody. I'm still here. I'm still in the community. And you ask, would I ever run again? Yeah, but this time, I have to have some checks already in hand. For me to
I
run.
know that's right.
I'm not using my money again, bro. I ain't gonna happy no more. But never say never. You know what I'm saying? It's all in God's plan, and whatever He has for me. Like I say, I only accept the assignments. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
There you go.
You be like, man, you did a lot, but I'll be like, I don't care. It's just
Did what you're supposed to do. That's what I'm talking about.
exactly, and that's all, bro. I just try to stay humble.
Yeah, for sure, man. Man, I appreciate you for taking some time out your day to share with us, man, and to break bread and got me some recommendations, man. And we definitely want I'm gonna put that information when I'm plugging it to contact him. But as you've been seeing on the ticker, his Facebook, Instagram, and the website are there. So make sure you reach out, make sure you get in touch with this brother and support the movement to suit up the world.
King Green.